I did start it with the other class a little bit. But when you're looking at your animal, you need to decide first where your eyes are going to go. Okay? This is a fun fact. Are you ready for it? Animals, mammals, that have eyes in the front of their head are normally meat eaters. And if they have eyes on the side of their head, it's normally because they're plant eaters. Any idea why? Why?
It's this way the herbivores can see the carnivores coming from any angle they have more.
So when the cow's eating grass, it can see if anything's attacking it. Isn't that interesting? Did anybody know that already? Miss Bauer taught me that. She's super smart. In biology, you said? You learned that too?
Yes.
So think about your animal and what it eats. That's going to help you kind of decide where the eyes are. Also look at your pictures. You have these pictures for a reason. Take a look at the ones you've printed. Make sure you keep some room for your snout or your beak or whatever it smells out of. Okay? You don't want to put your eyes too close together. You need to leave room for that. When you are making something realistic, which is what we want for these animals, you need to think about how they are made in real life. All right? So under the skin of your animal is a skull. Okay? And does a skull have eyes? No. What does it have instead of eyes?
Eye sockets.
Eye sockets. So you're actually going to start with your eye sockets. So you're just going to put your thumbs on your egg. Again, you're in your hands. You're not on your table. And you're going to find the spot for the eyes. So you're going to choose where your eyes are. Pay attention to the pictures. Pay attention to where the snout is. Pay attention to what it eats. That's going to help you. And you're going to start to push. So I've already pushed the eye sockets in, but you'll just slowly push and make your eye sockets. Are your eye sockets bigger or smaller than your eyeballs?
Bigger.
Bigger. You can actually feel them all the way out here. Okay? So they're going to be pretty big. You're going to slowly push and make big eye sockets. All right? What do you suppose the next step is?
Little eyeballs.
Eyeballs. All right, so I'm going to take some clay. And I'm going to roll a ball. Okay, and then I'm going to put it in my eye socket. Is that too big?
Yes.
Yes. So I'm going to take this out, take some away, roll it into a ball. Okay, this is a little bit big still. It's also really bulgy. Some of you might have animals that have bulgy eyes, so you might keep it like this. Cats don't really have bulgy eyes, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut it in half. And then, all of a sudden, I have 2 eyeballs that are the same size, which is perfect because I need 2 eyeballs. Isn't that amazing? It's magic. It's magic. It really is. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to kind of shape it again. I'm going to leave one side flat so it sits in the eye socket well. And then I'm going to slip and score it in here. So I do need some slip. Ben, can you grab me some slip? Because I'm so excited about it. Thank you. I'll take some slip. And push the eyeball in here. Okay, so I have my eyeball, I have the eye socket. Any idea of what's next?
Some form of eyelid.
Eyelid. Or the other eye. You could do the eyes at the same time. I'm going to go through one and show it to you. The eyelid is next. It helps keep your eyeball in the socket, as well as those like stringy gross things on the back. I don't know what those are. I don't want to think about it. It's gross. So I'm going to flatten out some clay. I'm going to make the top eyelid first. If you've ever put makeup on, you probably know the shape of your eyelid is kind of a half circle. So I'm going to start with that shape. I want these to be pretty thin. Then I'm going to cut a half circle and lay it on my eyeball. Okay? Now, if I look at my picture and I look at this eyelid, this is not quite the right shape. Okay? My eyelids on the cat kind of go around my eyeball a little bit. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut kind of a moon shape in here. Okay, so it looks more like a moon and less like a half circle. You'll have to pay attention to what your eyelids look like. And these are just going to lay right over the eyeball. Okay? Now, this is where you kind of get to pick what your animal looks like. Like if it's angry, yeah, that looks angry now. Or like maybe it's curious about something or sad. See how that changes the shape a little bit? Okay, so you kind of decide how you want it to look Most cats sort of have one. They're angry, I guess, all the time. So they're kind of pointing down. They look angry. So I'm going to look at my picture and sort of make that eyelid. I have a little bit extra here. Cut that off. And then I'm going to slip and score it just to the top of the eye. You do not need to slip and score it across your eyeball, because if you did that, it would not be able to blink. Your eyelids are not connected to your eyeball. Science lesson. You're welcome. Yeah. Slip and score that here. Okay, and then I'm going to smooth the eyelid into the egg. You don't want to push too hard against the eyeball, because then it starts to cave in and your eyelid sits kind of on top of your eyeball. It doesn't cave in. Okay, so now I have this eyelid. Alright. My next step is the bottom eyelid. You can make it just with a coil. Your eyelids connect on the side. That's how you can close your eyes. Your animals will too. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut it so it just sits right up against the eye. Okay, and then I'll slip and score it into place. Be careful when you're adding slip to this, because you don't add a ton. You'll end up having to clean it a lot. And it's going to go from one end to the other, and it's just going to barely touch the eyeball. And then you're going to smooth it to the bottom. Okay, look at eye. All right, so realistic eye. The hardest part about this whole project is making everything look the same. So after you make one eye, you're going to be so excited, and it's going to look realistic, and it's going to be perfect, and you're going to love it. Then you're going to make the other eye, and it's not going to look anything like the one you just made. Okay, so you have to sort of take your time and try to make them match as best you can. You might have to dig an eye out and start over. That's just something that happens. Okay, so if you want to work them at the same time, add the eyeball,